A very good afternoon to all our viewers. I welcome you all this afternoon to this session of Getty Life Talks with Ma'am Jalpa Shah, who is the principal of Jain Public School. She is a seasoned educationist with more than 18 years of experience with the functional expertise in area of school academics and administration management. She is also a certified sustainability trainer and Google leader with vast experience in building school brand and setting up processes and strategies which help schools to deliver better. I once again welcome Ma'am to our session, and today she'll be speaking on challenges and innovations, a leader's perspective. So, over to you, Ma'am.
Good afternoon, Shivani. Thank you so much for this wonderful platform. I'm also thankful to this Global Initiative Training Talks for giving this platform to share my opinion. It's a huge platform, and whatever I'm going to share, my ideas is from what all experience I have gained all these years. Hope it is useful to the fellow educators. I would want to share my slide before we proceed further. Yeah. So a few days back, I was moving. Like I saw this picture in one of our principal's WhatsApp group, and it hit me very clearly. It is describing parts of a principal. Like, of course, she should have, or he or she should have an eyes which to notice the great work people are doing, mouth for saying kind and encouraging words when you're managing so many stakeholders, hands for signing important documents, waving to parents, clapping for the kids, encouraging them, nice clothes, of course, as you represent your school, and to feel good about yourself, a smart mind to identify what is the talent each child or each stakeholder is having and effectively utilizing that. Ears for listening carefully, taking feedback from all stakeholders, a heart to empathize and care about everybody, and of course, a fit walking around the whole campus, seeing the classes and feeling great about the place where you are. Now, when so much is expected, or this is a function of a principle, definitely we have our own challenges. Each one of us in our journey would have faced some or the other challenges. So, it is imperative that whether we take those challenges as challenges and stick over it, or build up new avenues which opens new doors out of those challenges. So here I'm going to, as Shivani said, I'm going to share a few of the challenges which I came across as in capacity of my role of an administrator or a principal, and how together we faced that and we came out of it. That's what I'm going to share today. So that's what I have brought on my platter. Now, the biggest challenge which I see for a principal or a head of the school in this time. Now, before I come to challenge, I would want to give you a background of it. Now, there was a time when education was product oriented. When I say product oriented means it was defined by a prescribed syllabus given by schools and colleges. Children are taught that over a period of time, and at the end they are asked to write an exam, a 3 hours exam, and they are given a score. And this score defines their journey. The scenario is still the same. But one thing I can confidently say that now there is a shift from education as a product to education as process oriented. People, all the stakeholders have started realizing that the most important thing in this times is to see that our end goal is not just that marks or exams, but what are we doing in that journey? How are we equipping not only our children, ourselves, our teammates with those skills which are going to help them to face the unprecedented challenges of the real life? So there is a paradigm shift from education as product to education as process, where we are very keen to find out new ways and approaches through which we can inculcate skills in our children. Now, when I talk about skill development, so that means as a head of the school, we should have definitely have a blueprint. Every principal would be planning her academic plan in the beginning, which consists of curriculum, co-curricular activities. But there should be one column about skill development. What are we going to do throughout the year to inculcate those skills for our children, for our staff, and for ourselves? And there should be a separate budget allocation for the same. Now, what do we think that mapping out, identifying the need of the hour and mapping this blueprint of skill development, is that a challenge? Well, no, because I am very sure any principal, or matter of fact, any teacher who enters the class, within one or two class interactions, she'll come to know which child has what needs, what are his strengths, what are the weaknesses which can be molded further, how and what skills are to be inculcated. So I don't think that challenge over here is preparing the blueprint of skill development. But the challenge over here is to identify that in our quest of developing those skills for our school children or for our own children as parents, are we falling prey to those bodies and entities which are out to make education as business? It is a moral responsibility of every head to ensure to prevent commercialization of education. That is the biggest challenge. I don't say that what all is given in the market is not right or it should not be done. But if we are going to build future generations, if we are going to build children, if we are talking about skill development, is it necessary to outsource everything? Can't we be self-sustainable? Is it necessary that everything which we want has to come with price? Can't we create our own mechanism, our own programs, because we know our group, we know our children, we know our TJ, we know our journey, we know our strength, we know our weaknesses. So can't we as a team work for sustainable solutions that is mapped to our requirement? So one of the biggest challenge in the present time is to identify what you actually need and how you can achieve without falling prey to this commercialization. A simple example I'll give you. Now, COVID time, schools were the first one to impact, and I think March 29th, all schools were shut down. We began our online classes right in April. By April 5th, our online classes had started. Geo later came. Geo for the same came only, I think, in July. Now, by that time, we like in March, I can say first week of April, we started our grade 10th online classes. Eventually, we moved to 6 to 9. And by June, we pre-KG to grade 11th, we were full-fledged online. So during that time, I was up, my trustee sir approached me that there was an association of management bodies, and they had arranged a webinar where they were going to discuss about modes of online classes and other things, because Geo was recently circulated as schools will have to go online. And when I though we were online, platforms were set, I thought let us go and see what they have to offer to us. And I was shocked to be when I saw that the same platform which I have been using since last 10 years, Training Schools Pan India, was sold there for a cost of per child. The same platform which is supposed to be free for students, free for education. So that's what I'm saying over here, that the challenge is to identify that it is very important. There are a lot of things outside, but what you need, how can it be done in a sustainable way, and to ensure that, because when you buy such platform, you are going to have a cost to company, which eventually who is going to bear? Your parents. So it is our moral responsibility that this is the challenge which I felt, is that it is a moral responsibility to identify such things and to work towards minimizing such kind of activities which are brought into education these days. And I also feel parents are also an important stakeholders to this. In recent times, I would not name that brand, but I could see that ad, the child is doing some coding work and there are people fighting to give him job. He's maybe a 10 to 11 years child. And there was craze about that coding. And I was asked by my fellow family members, we are sending here, what are you doing? So amongst parents also there is fear of missing. This child is doing that. Oh, I didn't keep my child anywhere. Let me do something about it. What if he is not going to lag behind if he doesn't do one coding? I don't say that we should not go for coding. I'm just giving a general example that this all is mind games which are being played. So it is a responsibility of every stakeholder to develop those skills before falling prey to such commercialized activities, to do and do a right choice and to do the practices which are sustainable. That is how I would see that is a solution to this challenge. Now, what did we do to overcome this challenge I was talking? I have always looked for solutions which are sustainable, as I always say, economical, and it should not be a cost to company, because if it's cost to company, it's cost to parents, and which I am dead against. And when there are a lot of things which we can do on our own, why we need to outsource this? There's nothing wrong in outsourcing if we have value for money. But when the same thing we can do as per the need of our TJ, why can't we do it? So here, as my priority was when I started online classes, my priority was to optimize my resources. I wanted to make sure none of my teachers are laid off and I'm giving enough workload to them, so we cross this journey throughout. My also priority was that I was responsible towards the management, since fee collection was an issue. So I cannot just suggest any platform and ask them to purchase and buy, because we have to look at all fronts. And if funds are to be managed, my priority would be that funds are utilized in paying full salaries to the teachers. And I'm very proud to say that since last 7 months, I'm not saying that we are doing some great thing, but where I have seen good schools also doing reductions of payment to 75% or 50%, we are paying full to all our staff. Why we could manage this? What was the reason? Because we did our work, our research, our mapping on our own, and together we gave sustainable solutions, and we have implemented these classes which are going very successfully. So I would just bring on the platform with all of you as what all we did. I'm sure now by this time 6 months have passed. After this, I have trained as a CBSE resource person for entire South India. I have been training many schools. So now so many schools have gone Google and have utilized all these platforms. I have been very free in sharing my knowledge, because I believe that we grow when we share our knowledge with each other. But yes, that journey I would definitely want to show as how we came across these solutions. So as I was saying, my association with Google was 10 years back. I'm a certified Google leader, training schools pan India on how to set up G Suite domain in their schools. And when I came to Chennai 4 years back, I did the same for my school, and a lot of school now, due to COVID time, a lot of schools have given this training. So, but when I did this 4 years back, our school was the first to have gone Google in Chennai. Initially, there was a bit of reluctance from our teachers also. Like at that time, they used to feel, "Ma'am, we know how to make a presentation. We know to do the mails. What is the need? Why we are doing it?" I said, "What's harm in learning if something is coming our way? Let us set up. Let us get trained. If you don't want to implement full-fledged, that's fine, but we should know it." And that's how the journey started. So we have been using this. So I can say that 4 years back, we had set up the G Suite domain for our school. And then when in March, suddenly the lockdown came, and I said that we were very quick in implementing the online classes. One of the reason was that we had those skills. That's what I'm saying. We didn't wait for a problem to come and then brainstorm and think for a solution. But we already had those skills 4 years back to work with this kind of domain. So what we just had to do is a quick meeting with all stakeholders. That's how we are going to do it. We had a class-wise plan, and we were already trained. One brush up was taken with all the stakeholders, and gradually we went online. So initially, as I said, that we started in April first week itself, and by June the entire school was online. Now at that time, we were not having this idea that this lockdown would extend to such an extent. We thought maybe 2-3 months things would be normal. So by June, we did not think of any assessments. then when the scenario was that schools might not open, and one thing which I am very particular about is learning outcomes. Whatever we do, smallest thing which we do in our school should be outcome based, otherwise the entire exercise, the entire manpower, human power, resources goes waste. So that question was behind the back. At the same time, I was saying there were a lot of mails, ready assessments module, internal assessment module. A lot of things were available in market, but we thought we'll do what we are having. We'll try to do with that. So we started assessment with Google Forms. So in the form of the quizzes also you can do. And for higher grades, I was very particular that I did not want children to lose on their board practices. So I did not want to give assessment in the form of quizzes for grade 9 onwards, since ultimately they have to write their board exams. So for there also, but in the Google form, there is an option grade by hand where you can put 2 marks, 3 marks, 5 marks questions. So that is how the assessments started. And I would say that so far we completed as how we do it offline with UTs, half yearly, and for grade 1 and 2, anecdotals, everything is in place because we were ready for it. We were ready for it because we had learned some skills which we never knew where we will apply. So I constantly tell myself, I constantly tell to my team, my children, that we should always learn something new, something, some avenues which we have never explored in our life, because you never know when you will get a chance to use it. So then this I have brought on board because this was very unique. We all know what's a Google Calendar and we would be using it very casually. But how we integrated once this entire online system started. Our timetable for the online classes, UTs, half yearly, we also have a guidance session program for our board aspirants where we invite a CBSE resource person for a guest lecture series. So all that was mapped, planned and plotted in the calendar, and this is integrated with the website, and the parent can also sync their calendar so that they get automatic pop-ups whenever the event is. So this is how also we manage our information apart from the other information management portals that the school has. As I was talking about the assessment, we did it, we are successfully doing it. Now, once we started with the assessment, now there are 70 to 80 children, and maybe a teacher is teaching 2 grades, 3 grades. So as it is, teachers were working from home. They're still working from home with their family responsibility. Hats off to the entire teaching fraternity, how they have carried this well. But there was a constant thought which runs in my mind, how to minimize the work, how to empower them so that they spend a little time and get maximum output. So when we started with the assessment, but the next question is that a teacher has to like if she's teaching 2-3 grades, she has 70 to 80 children, and then as it is, she's spending a lot of time online making the content, then she delivers that content, and then assessments. So what we did is we searched for this app, and it is available in the Play Store, Flubero. We just have to install it in the sheet where the children are going to do their online assessment, and you have to feed the answer key, as we have answer key in our physical test also. So the answer key has to be fed. The entire 80 to 90 set of paper get assessed automatically as soon as you activate Flubero, and within fraction of time the teacher has results in her hand. So this is, and again this is a free app which is readily available. So then gradually, and as we started our journey online, we came across the challenges. As we came across the challenges, we seeked the solutions. And now I can proudly say that since so many months we are running it very successfully, and we have not compromised on the content. Like we are not just sending videos or 1 or 2 random worksheet. Whatever was planned in the month of March as a part of this year learning outcome, the same modules are done online, and a lot of research and planning went into it. That was possible because I would again want to stress that we had those skills. We were prepared. We never knew that this is going to happen, but we had those skills to deal if such things happen. So then now to everybody would then comes the question of when we actually started online classes in March. I had no idea, though I was doing a lot of things. Jamboard, maybe Jamboard was introduced only few years back, so I was not very much familiar with the Jamboard. Then one of the teacher raised the concern, ma'am, maths class, I need a board. What do I do? And then we search and we come across Jamboard. Jamboard mathematical expressions were difficult, so we search for some virtual boards which are now online, readily available. So that is how, as we came across the challenges, we found the solution. Now this virtual blackboard, it is mobile friendly. It can be downloaded. The entire through this app, you can record your entire class. And then what we do is we record our classes, and as a backup, if the children are absent, we also send recording of those classes, so that a connect is established. Children don't feel that there is a gap. So parallel recording features are also available in this virtual boards. Web whiteboards. These are so many tools that are readily available. A little bit of research and planning will help us to achieve what we are looking for. Now, why I am categorically bringing this to see when I am talking about challenges and solution. See, many a times we think that, oh, solution is very big. No, you need to think big only. You need to do big things. No, you just need to think. And you need not do big things to achieve big results. Small efforts put with heart and soul will give you results. CBSE gives so many circulars. I don't know how many of us read thoroughly, but when the online classes and all were initiated, they have given full technical support as how the teachers can make their content, from where they can take their content, and all the details have been given as what are those apps which are freely available, which we can use for resource development, where to go if we want a guest lecture program, where to go if we want a video, where to go if we want an online lab. So if we do a little of research within our community, we'll get solutions rather than just outsourcing or paying a hefty amount and putting a hole in management's pocket, parents' pocket. I will urge all the stakeholders to look for the solutions in and around us. So Diksha, this is one of the best platform. Now, this was launched long back by MHRD. Diksha, the full form is Digital Infrastructure for Knowledge Sharing. And I think it is launched quite back, but now during pan-epidemic, this has become the highest touted app. It is readily available on a Play Store. You can download on any mobile phone, and it's an initiative of MHRD, and it has around 80,000 curriculum linked and curated content. I would strongly urge everybody, be it parent, be it teachers or students, because there are separate login portals for every stakeholders. Beautiful content is there, right from PPTs to videos to MOOC platforms, online trainings. I think around 15 to 20 certifications I did for myself during this lockdown time. So, and if we go through students login, the entire content is beautifully explained from a student's perspective. So now I can see that teachers are struggling for the content, and I was very keen that whatever content is given from our end to the children should not be plagiarized. So I was very keen on that. I did not want anything which is directly copy pasted from Wikipedia or net, because we don't know how authentic it is. But when CBSE also later in the circular recommended Diksha as a platform, and it is very much mapped with all the curriculums which are aligned in India, be it CBSE, IB, IGCSE. So we also started extensively whenever like we had to do first, we introduce all our teachers to this platform. If there's a new teacher coming, we'll first give a Diksha training, we'll take her through the platform so that her efforts are minimized. And she doesn't feel burnout in searching those content or making those content which is not aligned as per the requirement. So I would strongly recommend that we should definitely visit this if you have not gone yet. So this is an app, and it has login features for students, teachers, others, general. There are a lot of certification courses also. Then next came lab work. It's an integral part, especially for grade 9th, for grade 10th and 12th. In grade 10th, there are questions based on assessments. That is, based on your lab activities, there are few marks which is allotted to this in the board paper. Now the lockdown is further extended, so my teachers were worrying what to do and how will we train them, because without calling them, how do we prepare them? And then we came across this Ola Labs. I got all the teachers, including myself. Whatever I train my teachers, the first training I will take, because I should know it in order to tell others to do. So I got entire team of my science, maths, and English teachers trained for this Ola Labs. Beautiful hands-on practical simulation sessions, dissections, and this chemistry titrations, volumetric, whatever is there in grade 11, 12, everything is beautifully put up there. If we talk about English, all the ASL skills have been put up there. ASL listening activities are there, math lab activities are there, and everything as aligned with our syllabus it is being put. All my teachers have completed the practicals also by 30th November. Even children are submitting the records. Now, whenever, if government allows us to open the school, we just have to do one quick brush up and children are ready. So we didn't go for those hi-fi, high-ended labs or solutions. We search for solutions. We search for solutions which are sustainable practically. And I didn't have to go anywhere else. I had to look into, because definitely when such a huge change is coming on, our own bodies, our own education bodies are there to support us. The only thing is we do not maybe look the solutions for within, and we try to outsource everything. So this is one Ola Lab feature which was very successful with our children and teachers. These are the kind of practicals my teachers have done with the students. Now, I would also want to talk about SWAYAM website. It's a national online platform. It hosts more than 2,000 courses, even for grade 9 to 12th, and even after school courses. And so many ICT initiatives are there. A lot and pool of information about apps and resources is available. And we use this platform and we integrated it very well in our teaching learning process. They have also, MHRD has also launched Swayam Prabha website. This is for they have around, I think, 32 DTH channel where all the curriculum and curated content is slot wise is being screened. Apart from that, of course, this many would be knowing about how NIOS and CBSE are running YouTube channel, and I was very impressed by one of the channel they have in the name of Online IIT. And I would prefer to send my kid for such thing rather than paying a hefty amount in those online courses which are happening these days. So it's a little bit of work, and if you see this online class YouTube channels, they're so self-explanatory, and a pool of information is available for all the children over here. So this is now another challenge which I would again want to share my experience is about, of course, experiential learning is very important, and it is very important that we give a hands-on experience of what we teach. For example, if I'm teaching a topic and I don't establish a real life connect, the first question that come to my mind is, what is the need? Why do I even teach that topic? So it was very important for us to have an experiential learning lab set up in our school. Again, as I said, we did not want to go outside and outsource a lab and just put it. We had applied for a grant with the Tinker Labs, Atal Tinker Labs. We're just waiting for the results. And in meantime, we thought we explored what we can do, and we also use this slogan being Atmanirbhar. So what exactly we did? Now there's a huge, 10 years back, there was a huge boom in the market, multiple intelligence theory, Howard Gardner's theory, and about assessments. I still see there are many people selling the MI model learning style. Will find out whether your child is bodily kinesthetic, whether he is musical, whether he can learn through nature, and all those things are there out in the market. But what we chose to do is that what is the need of my children? Do I need the entire MI model? First, we establish the entire MI model right from assessment. How do I assess? Now, if I assess that this particular child will learn through bodily kinesthetic, is it practical? Is it possible in a CBSE setup where eventually I am preparing him for the board exam? the class of 40 children, how do I incorporate this model? So though we developed the entire MI curriculum along with the assessment tests, which are scientific, we implemented it as per our need. And eventually we found that the best part of this was designing multiple intelligence based board games. That was a great hit with our students. So our teachers were trained. We trained our teachers to make this kind of board games. Initially, we did on chart papers. Like for example, if you have to teach physics formula, then we will teach through snakes and ladder. Now, I cannot say that only this model, but through this, there's in class of 40, there are different children. If I go in a class, I start talking about structure of atom, there are many children who would not be interested to know. But suppose I do a video, or suppose I do a board game, or suppose I take them in nature and teach the same concept, it is quite possible that they learn. I still remember teaching structure of atom through musical chair. So what we did as a school is we created our, that is why we say we are Atmanirbhar. We trained all our teachers as how to make those board games. First we did in an offline mode, then we also did in an online mode as how you can create different board games using publisher and how you can use it for your subject revision recall activities. So I'll just show this. I'll have, for example, we wanted to teach hybridization now. In chemistry, there is a topic called hybridization. So we created one carom. All of us would have played carom at some point of time. So carom, so here is 1 hole, 2, 3, 4. So we have labeled it as SP, SP3, SP2 and SP. That means, and all the cookies would be kept at the center. We also designed cookies. So these are different molecules which represent cookies: ethane, methane, water, carbon dioxide. Child will put all the cookies at the center. And what he has to do, he has to hit the right cookie into right hybridization hole. The molecule which is named, which is having SP hybridization should go here. So he is playing carom also, and even parallelly he is also learning about the hybridization. So that's what so we established this. We created such board games. All our teachers are trained to develop their own subject specific board games. And then what we have done is we created one MI lab. So we inaugurated an MI. So once we were confident that we have pool of resources with us and we can full-fledged have an our multiple intelligence lab. And this is a beautiful lab where we have all the kind of board games. So we inaugurated the MI lab. All the teachers enthusiastic. Still now they have mastered the art of making MI games, and as and when they keep on doing it, and they our resources gets pulled up. Children now currently during online also we are creating these games online, and we are doing it as a class activity. So as I said, in Diksha also a lot of online game quizzes are available. This is how also you can train your team to make online games and make the class interesting, because now it's a long time children are at home, so it is very important that we establish this connect. So I think this was one practical challenge which I felt, that in online how to go experiential, just by showing videos or just by doing something which is readily available, or you create your own resources, being Atmanirbhar. So that is how one challenge was, taking experiential learning online, and this is how we addressed it. There are n number of apps which are available. I have a pool of list with me. Few only I could bring it here. They are not paid. You just have to do a little bit of research and you'll be able to use it beautifully. One of my favorite is 1001 Wonders of the World. It is the greatest collection of most beautiful places on the earth. Any child and a geography teacher should visit this app and should implement it in the classroom. Now, as we started online, other issues, definitely online safety was always in our mind. So, but we thought what to do concrete about it. It's fine, we have moderators for our classes, we have coordinators going on round, I go on rounds. But how to further ensure the online safety? What we also did is, we associated with cyber safety and security standard. All our teachers, they also give certification course. I got the teachers, the few of my lead team members certified with that, and now I'm myself a resource person for National Cyber Safety and Security Standard. we not only take care of our school, but under our hubs, whatever schools are there, we do these workshops for them. And this is a certification which we received. And we sensitize the teachers and stakeholders on identity theft, phishing, hacking, cyberbullying, stalking, malware, banking fraud. These are the things which we cover under the online safety program, which is the greatest challenge and need of our. Now, another thing which I always felt is like when I was a kid, and I still remember my maths class, which I never liked. And I used to think, though maths is everywhere, I still used to think why I am learning it. Or when I was in my chemistry lab and I was doing a 6 hours practical, just waiting for result for a few precipitates to come out, why am I doing it? Now, when I understand, when I think, I can relate why I was doing it. I was standing there in lab for 6 hours waiting for zero point 0.5 milligrams of crystals. I was preparing myself, building resilience in myself. I feel I'm very strong at resource management. I'm very good at optimizing the resources which are available. That knowledge I gained in my chemistry lab. So it is very important that we prepare our children for the outside world. I still remember my chemistry teacher, Mr. Oswald, and it was a practical examination. And we were given, those who are in this doing this subject would know, we are given a small grams of substance, and we are asked to identify cations and anions. So we had to identify two cations and two anions, and I spilled it. I was on verge of my tears, and I begged him, "Sir, please give me a little bit of substance and finish my practicals." He did not give me. He did not give me, and that has still hit me so hard. I'm very, very particular about the resource management, because that pain which I felt of that 2 milligram I was not given, and then I just wrote the practical. So what we do, like, I see it's plastic parenting these days, or plastic. Everybody wants to be good to the kids. Parents want to be good to the kids. Teacher wants to be good to the kids. So nobody gives an out feedback, a correct feedback, or nowadays there are many other issues involved with it. But it is very important at certain point of time that we prepare the children for the world outside. The world outside is not going to protect, defend them. They must be taught how to face the music of their decisions. So how can we do that? Now there are so many things involved. Child psychology is there. You cannot scold, shout, touch, this. So this is the biggest challenge. Then how do I prepare them? My child cannot even sit without AC in his room. How am I going to prepare him for the outside world? What are you talking, madam? Is it even practical? Then what can we do? Then we can give them those skills which are very much required in that curricular, co-curricular, in their own spheres and domain. Small activities which we do, what all we teach, everywhere, wherever possible, we can inculcate this value as why they have to do this, what is the importance, why you need to stand when you come to chemistry lab, why you can sit and do a bio practical, but why you cannot sit and do a chemistry practical. So if we, as principals, teachers and parents, if we are ready to spend that time giving them about the importance of the challenges of the outside world, I hope we can prepare them. Now, what I felt was my children were brilliant. They were very good speakers. So I was looking for a platform as where do I showcase the talent, or where do I give them a now. There was the first time I had introduced the uh, council elections and all. So they were very eager to do an event and organize. So we were looking for what we can do, and I thought it should be the best platform. Inter schools we do, intra class we do, but something which is great. And there, one of my trustees said, "Why can't we do TEDx?" So I had heard about TEDx. I didn't knew what is a TEDx, how to do about it, but I had passion. I had passion that I wanted to do something for my children. So then, believe me, I just Google search how to apply for TEDx, and I came I landed up on the TEDx website, and the procedures were given, and there was a lot of data which had to be entered, and you had to select a theme, and if that theme gets approved, on that theme you had to give 6-7 talks. If that gets approved, you get a license. I was rejected 3 times. Every time my license was rejected, there came recommendation. Your license is rejected because this is not there, this is not there. Of course, my English teacher was there with me to support me in this. And but I so they asked me, "What do we do, ma'am? I don't think we'll get it." I said, "What harm in applying? Fourth time we'll get, fifth time we'll get. Why do we stop trying?" But imagine if we get, what a big deal it would be. And on the fourth time, we got the license, and we hosted our first successful TED talk. It was a, and we our theme was conquer yourself. So we had called eminent speakers from a very diverse background who had conquered themselves against all odds. And my children were in the organizing committee. And TED has some stringent rule. If you don't follow that, even if you have hosted and done this event, there's no chance you are finished. Your videos will not be uploaded. You cannot even ask. The photography has to be at a particular angle. Even that red circle has to be at particular angle. The logo has to be at a particular angle. And I still remember I and my team member and my admin staff were there at the venue till 11:30. There was a power cut. Nothing was working. Somehow we arranged something, and the vendor was pushing. He wanted to go back because next day morning speakers were flying from all the different part, and we had to complete the setup. He said, "You give me power. I need at least 5 hours to do all this setup." And so my team said, "Ma'am, you go. We'll see something." I went back, and till 12 o'clock there was no power. Night, I got a call from my admin person, "Ma'am, what to do? Vendor is going back." Again, we drove back. Night 2 o'clock, we were there. We did some arrangement, and by 3:30, the entire team was there to get the stage ready. And the event was
Excuse me, ma'am.
yeah,
Ma'am, I need to put some questions for you. So can you please come back to the topic?
yeah, fine. So should I stop sharing the screen?
Yeah, sure. You may give the examples, of the challenges and innovations
Yeah.
topic.
Fine. So that is how we did it. So what I was saying is that this is how the challenges which we felt that we wanted somebody to be on a global platform, our children to be on the global platform, and this is through TEDx. This platform we did it. That's what I was trying to say, Shivani. I think I went a little bit. I got carried away. Sorry for that. Yeah. So I was
Not
looking
sure.
about the yeah. So I was looking for the platform where I could do tie-ups for our children, and in this online mode also. So we did a lot of tie-up and a lot of online program. So the solution which we seeked was we found a global partner through eTwinning and Global Dimension, and we have done a lot of exchange program. We also did a physical exchange program that was before the lockdown, where students from France came and visited us. But currently also we are doing a lot of collaborations. We are inviting them as a part of our guest lecture series. So it is like for every topic we go from local to global. So as I was saying, the challenge was the right kind of exposure, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, taking children from local to global, and this is how we achieved it. So these are some of the things. Now this is the most interesting part, which I am very fond of, reading challenge. Now what we faced it, we had a lot of children who were very good, but they were not able to perform because they had reading challenges. And in the same way, we had children who were from other states who could not, he did not know anything about your language Tamil, or we had Tamil children who did not know about Hindi. So we introduced our own program, which is a Katha Ratha program, and where we first break our children into 3 levels: sky, moon, and sun. Now, sky is that group, they are very new to the letter level children. Moon is those children who are at the word level, and sun group, they can do focus on fluency in reading, but there's a problem in comprehension or interpretation. So first, we developed our own assessment mechanism. We had an assessment program. We diversified our children into this group. Then we prepared our lesson plan. For example, for the basic level, the letter level, we have such 40 lesson plan card. This lesson plan card is so self-explanatory. It will tell about the activities, the flashcard, the word banks which is to be used. So the first level children would be doing this kind of work. Then the second level would be doing a book activity, pre-book activity, alliteration activity. So a whole pool of resources were built in-house by my own set of teachers to address the reading challenges across all subjects. And the program is successfully running, and we are going to also take a program with few government schools around us as a part of our Seva activity. So that is one of the challenges which I think many of us come across as the basic reading writing ability, which is the foundation for any child to learn further. So we developed this learning station. Now we are doing it online also. We have allotted Saturday as our KOR classes, and the same modules we have taken online. And yes, of course, the biggest challenge is how to establish the connect. What we are doing now, how is it going to empower our children, or how it is going to connect them to the real life? That is the biggest challenge. So what we do is, all schools do this grade level seva, but we connect it with the topic which is being taught, and it is taken along at a community level where actually it benefits. So we mostly do tie-ups with NGOs. For example, what we did is we tied up with an NGO called Wound, who was working on making sanitary napkins for rural area. So there was a topic called polymer chemistry, as how polymers take a lot of time to degrade. The same way the sanitary napkins which are available also take a lot of time to degrade. So our children were taught by this NGO how they, from the cotton cloth, they can make their own sanitary napkins and packaging and then distributing in the rural areas or around. So this is how grade wise seva. This is one a nearby school we are children, that reading program which I said that we have adopted by nearby government school. That is how we took that program to a nearby school also. So we do a grade wise seva which is very much relevant to what they are living, they are studying. So a child feels, okay, I'm learning this, and this is how I can implement it. Now the biggest challenge, not for any school, is, but it is, this is the biggest challenge of the time: sustainable living. Not just take care of their own needs, but take care of the future generation. So I was very keen. In fact, I have been doing this work since quite a 15 years. Wherever I go, I make ensure that we are doing something on sustainable practices, and we run a green school program. Now, when I talk about solution as a green school program, I was dead against a green club where children are asked to draw save environment and they on a paper and they do a rally. What we are doing, we are again increasing the footprint by using that paper. So we were looking for some hands-on practical solution, and that is how Center for Science and Environment New Delhi came to our aid. They have a beautiful do-it-yourself manual. So they trained us on how we can find out our carbon footprint of our homes, schools, offices, with regard to waste, water, energy, land. So, and after finding the carbon footprint, for example, I know, oh, this is this much amount of waste friendly my school is, or this is my carbon footprint. We also have a plan to mitigate as how we can bring down the carbon footprint and inculcate a sustainable living value. So our Green School program has been running successfully across many schools. Of course, certificate initially the schools come to us because they are very much interested in certification. But still we help and we handhold, because our inner core value is that we want to teach them, as it is very important to know what is our footprint, so that we can do smart choices and save something for our future generation. So that is why we also came out with this unique Green School program in our schools, and of course many schools pan India. And one of the project which is very close to my heart is, the challenge was, I was seeing that a lot of present generation kids are spoiled. I will not say the use the word spoiled, but yeah, they don't understand how the resources comes, or how the finances are managed. So we were looking for a program as what to do, how to inculcate these values in the children, and we came with a unique solution which is provided by School Enterprise Challenge. What we do over here is that this program gives a hands-on experience on running the real world business. So in the beginning of the session, we asked children, did anybody has any business ideas, or would they want to contribute? And we encourage them to come up with ideas, develop a business plan, and it is put for approval. If it is sustainable, we also allocate some funds. And some of the business ideas which children came and was very successful. Was one child was working on business of selling jute bags, farming, selling wireless cooking products, or so these are some of the ideas that the children came with. So we provide a small fund to them, and there's a hardcore plan for that, like how the operations would be, how the marketing and sales would be, how the financials would be there, and team will work on it. So this is a small program which we initiated because we wanted children to have that responsibility of resource management and financial planning. So this is all about the challenges which we came across, or there's a lot and lot to share, but I could bring this much because of the constraint of time. So over to you, Shivani. Anything you would want to put up a question to me or about this?
Uh, Ma'am, you have very well explained everything, and I just want to ask one thing that you were talking about taking children from local to global, right?
Yeah.
So, how can
Yes.
teachers play their role here?
See, the most important people over here are the teachers because they are the one who are doing that curriculum transaction. I'll give you a simple example. Suppose at grade 1 and 2, the teacher is talking about houses. So she can always talk about climate or houses in India in comparison to other countries. Or for example, as a chemistry teacher, I want to know how the mining is done across the world. What are the after effects of mining? She can put up a research paper, ask children to research across 5 countries and come up with the reasons. Or why she can ask why pollution in India is less, or why in this particular country it is more. We can put it up as a research. When they do research, they come across, oh, the pollution over here is more because we are doing this things. Pollution in France is less because, oh, they are not doing this. No matter, like when a teacher gives this kind of exposure, she will ultimately bring the world in her classrooms and take from local to global.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining in and being a part of Getty's disruptive education movement. I also thank all the audience here for being a patient listener. With this, we come to an end to today's session. We'll meet again soon with another informative session. Until then, thank you and goodbye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Shivani. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.